right, so welcome to our newest passion project, if you will, the Fumbled Expectations football podcast, where we talk about all things foosball related and what we think are really awesome, sweet takes that we think you guys might enjoy or not enjoy, because we don't really care at the same time. So I I am Bronza. This is my lovely co-host, Lady Junk, and we are just gonna get right into things. My actually, the first thing I want to talk about. I don't know if you saw the news last night. Like, it happened as I got to work. The
Nah.
fucking Mavericks traded Luka to the Lakers for Anthony Davis,
Now
and
you see, this is
people are
go ahead.
losing their shit. Like,
This is basketball news.
yeah, this is, I know, but like, this is like hot topic, like right now. Like, people are literally like, they don't know why, if that makes any sense.
Well, I wish I had an opinion to state.
So,
I know
like,
nothing about it.
I guess to give you like kind of like a brief, so from my understanding, because I have limited knowledge, but what I think is happening is that, so LeBron's been kind of like, I guess you might say, like, whiny baby that the Lakers haven't been doing good since he's like come to the team, and some people are like weirdly speculating that he's somehow involved in then getting one of the best, what most people consider as like the new GOAT for the NBA. And
Wait, so it's not his son?
I no, I think I did hear about him wanting his son to play with him, but
I mean, they do. Bronny James is on the Lakers with him.
oh, okay.
And
So
so I've been seeing LeBron on the sidelines a lot more.
mm,
And Bronny be doing like, I don't know, everyone, I don't watch basketball, like I said, but it comes up on my algorithm a lot. And I'd be seeing a lot of clips of Bronny doing like, cheeky layups or dunking over fools and then like their chants in the crowd and stuff. I'm like, I haven't seen anything spectacular, but then again, like I said, I don't watch basketball.
that's that's fair enough. I don't watch any basketball either, but I work with people who watch it way more
Yeah,
than they do football. So like,
right.
I get all the like snippets, and when they mentioned that, I was like, that I couldn't find a reason why. Like, why I couldn't find a reason why this a move would be made like that. I guess the other thing is like Anthony Davis gets to go play with Irving again. They're being reunited, so I
Isn't he like an anti-vaxxer? Wasn't there like a whole controversy around Kyrie Irving regarding his sentiments towards vaccinating? I don't know.
I wouldn't
So
know.
that's
I wouldn't know
like
about
I
that.
said, I don't follow basketball. I just follow what's on my algorithm. And I remember the only reason why I know about Kyrie Irving is because of his opinions towards vaccination.
Yeah, that was like hot, like right off the press, and they were like, because my coworker literally walked to valet to tell the other homie that who he talks like basketball with,
Mm.
and like, I've never seen him like be like, hold on, I'll be right back, and just like, bro, and I was like, oh geez, this must be serious.
You know, I mean, I imagine also like when you have someone at work that like is into the same shit that you're into, then yeah, I can see the excitement wanting to talk about it.
Right, right. So I was just that was just my little. I wanted to throw that in there early because, yeah, I just figured it's obviously hot. So,
All
but
right.
let's actually get into the real. Well, how are you doing, by the way? Let's just start with that. I don't wanna forget about that. We're all people here.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, all things considered, I'm good. I gotta, if we're being honest, I should have pooped before recording. But other than that,
I mean, I
I'm
can always edit it if you really need to go. It's a recording. It's not
ah.
live, so I can
No,
always.
I know. It's for the shtick.
I
But
guess
no, all things considered, I'm chilling. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. life's got its highs and lows. It's just kind of you just roll with it. Nothing like
No-
super nuts
Nothing,
is going on. So
nothing wacky at the casino.
yeah, nothing crazy about that. Nothing crazy about that life. It's kind of just doing my thing, keeping up with quota and expectations, and then just chilling, making the bag. So, hey, look, compared to some people around here, I'm doing pretty good. So,
Yeah, for sure.
um,
All right.
all right, let's quickly get into a hot. What's that a hot take? I would say just what is probably on the forefront of everyone's mind. Super Bowl coming up.
Mm.
Uh, the Pro Bowl is today or was it yesterday? I don't know. Um,
Oh, it hasn't happened yet.
okay, maybe they were
Oh no
showing
no no!
highlights.
Is that a question? I'm
Well,
asking
I'm
because I
ask I'm asking too because I saw they were showing highlights of like the games that they're doing, like the little
yeah, that's what
mini
I've been
mini game
watching.
stuff. Okay, all right, cool.
But also, like, isn't that what the Pro Bowl is nowadays? Like, so before, when Pro Bowl was actually like a football game,
Yeah, I
I
remember.
thought that was, I loved that, but I can understand why they're not doing it anymore. They don't want any of their all-stars getting injured at in a fun scrimmage. Also, are we cussing in this?
I mean, yeah, I can always
I've been
go.
holding. All right.
I can
I don't
always bleep it out.
I don't know if it's family friendly. Also, I don't think I clapped.
No, well, it's all synced up on my end,
All right,
so
cool.
it's all gonna
Yeah,
be on
yeah.
one track, so I don't have to.
Okay.
That again, the clap is just literally for me as
That's
the
right. That's
editor.
right. No,
So,
I forgot. I forgot.
um,
In the sense that there were two tracks.
right. Uh,
Anyway,
no,
but the
I
Pro
totally
Bowl,
totally get that it's been changed. The dynamic has become different from what we remembered growing up. I don't necessarily. I understand maybe people don't like it because, on a competitive sense, they get to see some of their players that they always wanted to know how they would do against maybe a team that they don't play against, if you will. Like you'd only see these like kind of like wide receiver cornerback matchups that let's say would only happen like potentially at a Super Bowl, if that makes any sense.
right? It's. I mean, it seems a little unrealistic in that aspect because, like, it's just one player. And you know how one player doesn't define the whole team. Tyreek Hill is not the Miami Dolphins.
Right, of course.
But we saw him, as part of the AFC, along with freaking Derwin James, along with Joe Burrow, all these superstars. So it's like these dream teams that are developed. And that's what I always liked about the Super Bowl because, like, or not the Pro Bowl, because it's like the whole what if, or like how it's like fantasy league in real life,
Okay, I gotcha.
except instead of us being the managers, we got the Manning brothers.
I guess that makes it cool.
Ah, no. Well, I mean, look, I know your thoughts on Eli.
I don't
Um,
like either of them.
and I got to give Peyton his props, but only because he was part of like the the Colts carousel of rotating quarterbacks. Like there's him, there are Philip Rivers, there's who else? Fucking anyway, but I'm waiting until they retire so the Kelsey brothers can replace them. I find
Okay.
them I enjoy them as far as being like the quintessential football siblings, the poster children of football siblings for a long time. It's been the Bosa brothers, uh, and the Mannings, and now the McCaffreys, right? Now
Right.
that,
Yeah.
but we don't. Ever since Christian's injury, we haven't been hearing much about him. But yeah, even after retiring, Jason Kelsey is still in the spotlight.
I could see that would actually be a good PR like marketing move to get
and
like the
and
Kelsey brothers to do that.
the media loves them, dude.
Oh, they'd eat them up.
Yeah. And
They're in
plus
cereal
it's
commercials together. Why would you not like? Oh, if this dynamic works as brothers on a you know
and
on
they're
us
backed by the power of Taylor.
exactly. So
Anyway.
yeah. Anyway, no. I mean, it's just yeah. The Pro Bowl isn't what I think what it used to be, as far as like you're saying, which I understand your viewpoint, which is what I kind of probably align myself more so of. But I do understand the reason that they did obviously like make it into something fun.
Fun. Yeah.
You don't want your like star scoring player to like tear a hamstring at
And
something that doesn't matter.
I think it's good for like the general morale, like in case there was any like bad blood during the season or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
God
true.
forbid that leak onto like something that's supposed to be fun. So maybe that's probably why they removed the scrimmage, made it flag football, maybe to just remove the competitive edge.
Yeah, if someone had a
And
receipt, if you will, and they were
I
looking to
guess,
cash in.
or like imagine like the same animosity carries on into the stands. It's supposed to be a fun family event, but you got hard asses in the crowd just you know uh hashing up rivalries just for the sake of what, starting shit.
Because that's just all they know. So that's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. No, I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with you. Yeah.
But as far as the game goes, did you watch the Pro Bowl, or like do you not have much opinion towards the change?
Oh, gosh, if I mean, I probably only ever watched it that I can remember maybe 5 times. So I would say it's probably not that important to me.
Mm.
Um, it was just kind of one of those like, yeah, like you said, an exhibition match. So like, if
Yeah, a
you,
little scrimmage.
yeah, so I guess I should say I didn't really ever watch it, and I had no interest in it.
Um, yeah, I didn't make it a thing to kind of just like carve out the time to watch it, but like I always enjoyed like the aspect of like these superstar teams going up against each other, because that does make you wonder. You don't, I mean, yeah, AFC and NFC teams do meet, but not all too often, you know? And you're just taking the best of each conference and slapping them at each other. I think that's cool.
I guess
And
maybe
like,
the Well, I guess because maybe the reason it used to probably feel competitive because people used to care about, I guess, the AFC versus the NFC, like the like how they kept track of that, and then
mhm.
I think yeah.
But at this point, the NFL kind of took it and they made it like a fun brotherly rivalry ever since they put the Manning brothers on top of it, you know?
Mm.
And it's fun, like it's it's based on what these football veterans think are the best players and stuff like that. You wouldn't necessarily agree, but what do we know, right?
Right. They may know something that we don't know because
Right.
they're in that system,
They
if
were
that makes
there.
yeah.
Yeah. No, but it's fun. Their commentary is interesting. I watch some of their segments at the gym sometimes. But now that the Pro Bowl is out, what about the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we're getting round two of Chiefs Eagles. Uh
It's not. Yeah, it's just it's the more boring rematch because, as I've been stating, there's no brotherly rivalry anymore.
nope.
Just Kelsey's been retired. Jason is just, I think people are watching more for Taylor Swift now.
I mean, I guess if yeah, I guess
as
at that
in
point.
as in as in Jason Kelsey, the tight end, is not so much a thing. It's now Jason Kelsey, the football star, dating Taylor Swift.
Right, correct. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Um,
Yeah.
but no, it's
And if you've noticed, if you notice that when he started dating her, his appearance started getting more like, like a little bougie.
Mm,
Little he started kicking up the Riz a little bit.
I get maybe. I don't know. I guess I really didn't care. I just as
I
it just seemed very coincidental that when there is a moment that happens that turns almost everyone's eyeballs onto like one subject matter, that all of a sudden that subject matter seems to be doing incredibly well.
uh like, but well, like in terms of what? Like the Chiefs doing well, and then Taylor coming into this,
No, no,
or
no.
what?
Taylor coming in and the stock goes up because
Oh no, well, stock went up because Taylor came in,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but the Chiefs stock was already up.
yeah. But I'm saying they're like now because what people a dynasty is being laid out. So you have all eyeballs on it. What do you do with it? You make it the most winning, best thing for that brand for probably as long as that player and relationship stay together.
I don't know about that. I don't think the two are correlated because like she has a whole ass like cult, you know?
Yeah, and they're
And
very passionate.
right. And the Chiefs, they were already winning. It's not like they won their first ring. They already had the reputation behind it. So now you're just combining like what is I don't know. It's a really hard, what are you combining? You're combine just they're two superpowers, but they're not superpowers that you would like necessarily find together. Like I guess for lack of a better comparison, like Wolverine and Deadpool, you know? Like they're both powerful in their own right, but then you're putting them together and it's just like, huh, I never would have thought I would ever see that combination, but holy shit, what an unstoppable force. Because now, because of that, Chiefs jerseys are fucking spiking because of all the Swifties getting into football now. Female viewership has been spiking whenever the Chiefs play, you know? So, I mean,
That's
did
my whole
they
point. You're literally so this is what I'm getting at.
you
It's
you
not
can't
it's not that because okay, how do you need to help? Let's say for whatever reason viewership was actually going down, and all of a sudden an event of combining, like you said, two separate like spheres of like people together. Why to continue to keep and grow that the overall fan base of the eyeballs on the product, why would you not probably get that team to be the best for a few years so people don't end up getting disappointed if because let's say there's a world where I think that if the Chiefs sucked after Taylor Swift started dating Kelsey, you would have probably a large portion of the vocal fan base online that is Taylor Swift's fan base crying that they can't believe that their superstar is dating a guy on a bum of a team.
I see. But you know what? I don't think the fans are in charge of who Taylor Swift dates.
No,
I
but
think
that's
Taylor
not my
Swift is
point.
in charge of. No, I know you're trying to say that there's this conspiracy that, she goes with the winner to catapult the winner, and only winners date Taylor Swift as well. Kind of carrying on the whole, it's very almost like painting a narrative of like this American dream team, whatever. Anyway, but my argument is Simone Biles. You see, she's kind of the goat in her own right. An extremely successful, if not, isn't she like the most decorated Olympian out there right now? Anyway,
Probably.
she's married to Jonathan Owens. You know, he's kind of on a bum of a team. He himself is not really all that impressive either. The heart wants what it wants, Robert.
Yeah, but what does the what does the what do you think appears more or would make more headlines on mainstream media coming out of Hollywood?
Obviously,
A Taylor Swift article or a Simone Biles article?
obviously Taylor Swift is more marketable because of who she is and her profession. You know, Simone Biles is only relevant once every 4 years, you know? Uh, but that's not to discount, it's not to discount the image that's being put across. You know, like I understand what you're saying. Like the NFL is trying to paint, like I said, this narrative of these superstars, and it only works if Travis Kelsey is over here dating this other just hot shot, just this, she's crazy with the Eras tour.
Right. I guess I still think so. Like, it's not that the NFL wanted the Chiefs to be good, so they set up the relationship. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm saying is the relationship happened out of RNG in the universe, and the NFL realized if we don't capitalize on this, because we're gonna have a whole bunch of people watching now that wasn't in a market that we had before. If this team blows monkey chunks, we're gonna go back down or even worse because we're gonna lose a big fan base.
You know what this reminds me of?
The potential
So,
market they needed to capture it to keep
yeah,
ratings
no,
up.
it's a superficial marketing scheme. Yeah. What this reminds me of is the whole what happened uh there's a conspiracy around 9/11 essentially being a catalyst to the Patriots dynasty. That
I've heard of
because
that.
of
I've heard of that.
right after 9/11 happened, there was this huge outcry for unity and just collective patriotism. What do you know? There's a whole ass football team that has the name, and then uh you notice that that was the first and only year that they changed the Super Bowl logo. Remember? So they had the Super Bowl logo. They had it set like they always do, and they had like their little fancy colors. However,
Mm-hmm.
this time around after 9/11, they changed up the logo to have the United States. They put an American flag on it. You know, they made it a lot more patriotic. And then that was that. What happened?
Interesting. Okay.
And then Tom Brady started making all these moves. The Patriots started making all these moves. They won the conference finals. They went on to I don't remember the game, but obviously they won. That was the
Talking about
start of their
the one in
dynasty.
the snow, the Raiders game that like everyone couldn't believe. Like it was it was down to like a final field goal, right, or something like that.
Oh
And
no,
they
what
like
happened?
the Raiders just like blew it. All right, your
What
camera
happened?
died. Lamau.
Yeah. What? I don't understand. Redo this. Uh, oh my god.
Oh,
What the fuck is this?
enhance. Don't you?
Oh no, what just happened?
Is it flip now?
No, I don't. Wait, am I flipped? Am I
I
flipped?
think yeah, because when you started, the microphone was on the other side.
What? I see it on the same. Anyway, let me see.
No, like
Um,
just on disc. There we go. That's how. So how it's that was that what it was, and then
that's so funny.
interesting.
What the fuck? Anyway, um, sorry. All right, let's edit that.
No, yeah, of course, yeah. Gotcha.
Movie magic.
Mm.
Um,
No, but yeah,
okay,
I
I
get where
pulled it
you're.
up.
Okay.
It was Super Bowl 36 between the St. Louis Rams and the Patriots.
Mm.
And yeah, that logo, it's now it was all American flag. And look, even the Wikipedia page has a whole section on the effect of 9/11 on the Super Bowl. That's so weird.
Interesting.
Yeah, they're talking about how the logo had an original style to reflect the host city. However, yeah, after 9/11, the a new logo reflecting American patriotism was designed. Anyway,
Yeah. Anyway,
um,
Chiefs suck. That's all I'm gonna say. Is I can't believe they're in the Super Bowl again, and this actually blows that we get a rematch. Pray to God that the Eagles actually beat them this time, but I'm
I
like
don't think so.
I'm like 70-30. Chiefs win, and I don't like it.
My dad asked me the same thing. He goes, "Hey, so what do you think about the Super Bowl? Who do you think's gonna win the Super Bowl?" And I'm just like, "You're gonna like legit make me say like out loud that the Chiefs. The Chiefs are obviously gonna win. Like, and move. Okay. Let's be honest here. If we're gonna put it in perspective, I would rather have Mahomes than Brady. If we're being honest, I'd rather have Kermit the Frog than Brady. Whenever I think of Brady, I think of Roger Goodell. Whenever I think of Brady, I think of open mouth kisses with my with my family members.
Oh my God, I remember that. That was so. Oh my God, I couldn't believe that. Like that was. I've never in like North America ever seen like live, like I guess business partners like mouth to mouth. Like,
Oh no!
oh God, that was
I was laughing so
like I
fucking
don't
hard.
think that's like because I guess that's not okay. So that is not a normal United States like culture like celebratory thing that happens. So like it caught me off guard.
Maybe it's
So
just not our culture.
I don't like it's the
Brady's kind of
Patriots
another
culture.
animal. No, I think it's just Brady culture because you've seen his lifestyle. He's very regimented. He's an alien. He like his training routine, his diet, like it's just how he maintains himself. It's very militant to a T.
I don't know what it just makes.
You see what I mean? Look at the sentiment. You look at how you're feeling right now. Just talking about Brady. We were talking about the Chiefs for a good 20 minutes and you didn't have this visceral reaction.
Because I want to understand why you'd kiss your boss on the lips, like, and
Enough
why
said.
would you kiss
Enough
his boss
said.
on the lips
We don't
too?
have that issue with the Chiefs. We don't have that issue with Mahomes. We just have to deal with his voice and his questionable, you know, associations.
You think Andy Reid's walrus mustache is soft?
So when I think of Andy Reid's mustache, I think of that snow game they were in, and he had
Oh
little
yeah,
icicles.
yes. I'll put up a photo of that. That's such a good. That's such a good.
So do I think it's soft? No, I think it's rugged like a push broom. Like I bet his wife doesn't. Maybe she does appreciate it. Maybe it's a texture thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna go there.
When you have thousands of opportunities to hit your mark, I suppose.
No. God
You can't
almighty.
miss. You can't miss.
Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's
Nah, I
Taylor's
just
team anyway.
it's fucking it's such a lame ass Super Bowl, and I'm gonna watch it, and I'm just stew in
Well,
anger.
that's
literally gonna be like this.
dude, I'm hosting a party. Yeah, the game's not gonna be entertaining enough. I'll have people and we'll just talk shit.
Many adult beverages, I'm assuming.
You know what? As we enter into our 30s, less and less folks are partying. So that I'm not really anticipating too much of that. Me, however, that's a different story.
You're gonna
What
get
about
blitzed, aren't you?
we'll see. We'll see. Um, what about Kendrick playing halftime? No?
I'll be honest with you, I've never like really um in I don't know the halftime show's never really like been something I think realistically cared about. Like I don't know, like cool musician gets to play for the it just
You have to appreciate the fact, though, that if it weren't for a Super Bowl halftime show, we probably wouldn't have YouTube. Do you know that? There's like a little correlation that I don't remember if it was like someone, if like connected to YouTube, or I don't know if it was like a developer or one of the founders or whatever, but there was a guy who he really wanted to find that clip from the halftime show of Justin Timberlake ripping off Janet Jackson's
oh
pasty.
yeah.
That wardrobe malfunction was the reason why YouTube was created,
Okay.
because Homeboy wanted to find that clip. He wanted to see that clip, and there weren't many video hosting platforms at the time.
Plus, I think if you were still recording something from TV at that time period, you had like a big, fat, bulky like box. You know what I mean? Like,
A VCR, you mean?
I'm
Or
sure
like
it was more
a
involved than
TiVo?
that. Yeah, basically. But I'm sure it was like, I'm sure you needed either one giant piece of like a, well, like recording equipment that like took up space on your TV cabinet that you had, or like you had multiple instruments to like capture everything.
I mean,
And
I
then
think a
getting that onto the
VCR.
internet back, then like doing the whole, I'm sure it wasn't
Yeah,
easy to like
you had
rip
to.
that media off of whatever you recorded it on to a computer.
I think there were methods. Like they had a VCR or like some sort of like cassette reader that hooked up to computers, and then like transferring files would be a thing, or like it would rip the video off of the cassette.
I
Yeah,
think
something
also
like
like
that.
that's expensive. Like back in that
Yeah,
yeah, in that time period.
definitely not a layman's hobby.
And it definitely
Well,
wasn't.
technology was developing too.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like we can go and get a capture card for $200. Like pick any electronic store anywhere online.
Which I'll argue is still a little pricier for the average person.
Okay, fair enough. And I guess like thinking of like that kind of unique equipment for that time period to source all that stuff probably took a little bit of time, and you had to like kind of already be in the industry to know
I
what
feel like
worked
it's
and
the
what didn't.
equivalent. I feel
And
like it's kind of the equivalent of like nowadays getting a capture card.
but
Like
like I'm
it
sure some of those pieces of equipment were more like 500. Like the barrier to entry on the price tag I think was a lot higher at that time period than what we can do today, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, yeah, well, yeah, and like I said, the technology was still developing. It was new, so obviously, yeah, all of these things are going to be a lot more expensive. Computers back then were like 3 times more expensive than they are now,
And like
you know?
probably 20 times less like powerful than what, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but it was exciting.
Yes,
The
it's true.
technology was developing, and now look at where we are. We're fucking
Spoiled.
hosting a podcast online. Um,
I don't even need like a soundboard and like the microphones and like
yeah,
lighting and like all that.
yeah.
Like literally
No
doing it from the
mixer
comfort of your home.
necessary.
Right.
Yeah. We don't have to go to a radio studio just to have a quiet place for
I don't know if that was,
anyway.
yeah, that was true. I look, okay, all right. Regardless of that was cool. Like I've never been in like a studio like that, so that was pretty awesome. Like,
Oh, okay. Okay. No, having the environment.
yeah.
Uh,
But no,
so
yeah, I really hope the Eagles win. I just want them to win.
I'm seeing.
As a team.
I'm looking at a headline right now from Jamar Chase saying he's not a Kansas City fan. He hopes Saquon Barkley rushes for 200 yards. Honestly, yeah. I hope that guy has a good game. He's been a freak this season.
I hope he gets paid more too. Like, dude's only getting like 12 million. Like,
I mean, he's been producing for sure. I think this season he's definitely like come out onto his own, especially with that fucking that hurdle,
yeah,
that
that's the
backwards
highlight of the
hurdle
year.
jump. Yeah,
I don't think
absolutely.
unless something happens in the Super Bowl, like that is the 2024 season. Like
That clip's gonna live on for a while. Um.
they put it in the game like shortly after. Like that's an animation he will do. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they put it in
Sick.
Madden. So,
That's cool. Um. What about what about? All right. So we're talking about teams that we're not fans of. Let's talk about the Raiders for a little bit.
oh, okay. Okay, this is what I have. Just to give it a quick rundown, and we can go through all those individually. Let's see. Pete Carroll signed to the Raiders as their head coach. They
Hmm.
re-signed Patrick Graham as their defensive coordinator. Rumors are currently that I know of that either Aaron Rodgers or Sam Darnold will be going to the Raiders as their quarterback. More likely, I think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers because they'll then see if they can draft a rookie QB in this upcoming draft and get him to be mentored by Aaron Rodgers, yada yada yada, so on and so forth.
Hmm.
And that's kind of about it. The I guess the rumors for Russell Wilson going over there isn't actually going to happen. I think he's re-signing with the Steelers, which I find interesting because then that puts Phoenix back. Either I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if that means Russell's going to start or Phoenix is going to start. Who knows? Mike Tomlin needs to make up his mind. But anyway, yeah, the Raiders get some firepower that do kind of make them on paper, a potential contender in the AFC West.
You're telling me that so Aaron Rodgers or Sam Darnold?
Correct.
What
Yes.
happened? What happened to what's his face? The kid with the bully face. That rookie they just got.
Uh,
I can't remember his name. Hang on.
yeah. No, your guess is as good as
The
mine
the,
on
the
that.
Aiden O'Connell.
I mean, okay, so that's what I'm saying. They might like get Rodgers to play one season, and during that season, he will also mentor Connell, and then next year, because Pete Carroll has usually taken dumpster fire teams and rebuilt them, and by like year 2 or year 3, they actually start doing like really good. So
The Raiders they notice the Harbaugh effect. And yeah, because what you're talking about with Pete Carroll rebuilding teams, it's exactly what Jim Harbaugh does. And it's no surprise that they would pick up Carroll to continue the Harbaugh Carroll rivalry. You know, like
oh, I mean,
the AFC West, I guess, has been suffering in media. It's all just Chiefs.
yeah. And now there it's actually you got it's as far as like your quarterback position and your head coach position, like it's the AFC West is actually kind of stacked as
Dude,
far as
as far as leadership,
yeah.
as far as QBs, dude, you got Josh McDaniel. Oh no, not Josh McDaniels. You had Pete Carroll now. Yeah, I'm laughing at the fact that the Raiders had to go through so much leadership exchange to get to where they had Josh McDaniels, and then they moved on to Antonio Pierce literally the next season over, and then had like yeah, Pierce didn't have all that much success.
I heard
But
Pierce actually also left for personal reasons, something may be going on with his wife,
oh, is that right?
her health. So I think that he
Oh,
may
I
have
didn't know. Okay.
that. I think again, rumored. That's what I've heard down the grapevine from a Raiders fan. So
Yeah. But now yeah, the AFC West has impressive coaching staff.
because you got
Sean Payton
yeah, I was
on in
gonna
the
say
Broncos.
Peyton and Bo.
Yeah, Peyton and Bo. And let's talk about you. You want to talk about Bo Nix a little bit?
I mean, okay, so yes, I don't obviously because obviously I'm a Chargers fan. If you guys haven't figured that one out, the I don't. It's not like I want the Broncos to be bad, but like I like the fact that a I guess whether you love him or you hate him from the Saints, a good coach statistically is coming to help that team out, and you have a very young quarterback who actually showed who wasn't dookie fire like some of these other guys that either A were rookies this past year or B have been in the league for 2 or 3 years and still haven't figured it out. So that was nice to see on that front. Kid looks good.
Yeah, no, he
So
looks
I can't wait
great.
to see what happens there in the rest of his career.
I mean, the kid is good. It's the team, and that's usually how it is. We've seen that with a lot of quarterbacks. If anything, uh, he's following Bo Nix. He's following the long legacy of promising Bronco QBs that had the juice, but they didn't have the jug. They we talk about Jay Cutler. We talk about Peyton Manning on there. We talk about all these quarterbacks that yeah they had the arm. We could talk the same trash to Philip Rivers.
No, of course, yeah.
The guy had a Super Bowl arm, but he did not have. No, he did have it.
Yeah,
Let's
we
be
just
real.
choked in the playoffs, bro. That's just it. It's just always choked in the playoffs.
That's my bias talking. But no, I'm just the Broncos are. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the Broncos. Out of respect for my homie who's no longer with us. He was a huge Bronco fan. So, but honest, I mean, yeah, they're kind of like the middle child of the AFC West right now. Because you got the golden child with the Chiefs, and then you got the problem child with the Raiders. Yeah, the
Yeah, you got
Chargers,
the
however,
prima donnas of I guess the Chargers, if you will.
what makes them prima donnas? Let's talk about that.
I get someone could argue that they're a California team, and if someone's never lived in California, they would just assume that all they know is
So
like
why
Hollywood.
why
You
the
know what I
Chargers
mean?
and not the Rams though?
I mean both of them. We just lump them both together. They play in the same stadium. Why not?
Would they have been considered divas when they were in San Diego?
Yes, very much so. Considering how that city is, if you will.
Jealousy. How that city is? What are you talking about? San Diego's like the most laid back city in
No, but
America.
look at the depending on what you want to do in that city, the level of prestige has a very high ceiling of your barrier to entry.
Isn't that the case anywhere? I mean, I understand. So I would understand that more in LA, where everyone is superficial. But in San Diego, no one gives a shit. And it's half illegal immigrants anyway.
Fair, fair. No, but I'm just saying, like, how many times did you hear that the Chargers boys were all out partying, like on a weekend or whatever,
Not as
in like
much
the
as the
San Diego
Viking
community?
boys. Not as much as the Viking boys. You hear about that?
No, what happened?
I don't know. I don't know when. Actually, let me see. Uh, Okay, yeah. This was back in 2005 when 17 members of the Minnesota Vikings, including Dante Culpepper, and Fred Smoot and Pat Williams and the like. You got 17 of these fools, and there were rumors that they would take these houseboats out to Lake Minnetonka, and they would just party. They would bring in prostitutes from Florida, and they would just, yeah, they would just sex parties on boats. So, no doubt that the Chargers party, but as far as any other California team, but I don't think anyone will party like the Minnesota Vikings back in '05.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can see your point. Um,
uh,
but
but I do see, like, as far as like Chargers out in the wild, I love seeing Cameron Dicker like doing his thing. He's always at duck games. He's always at hockey games. He's like, I don't know, he's like a little golden retriever. He's such a fun, and also he was nominated for what was it, the Man of the Year, Walter Payton Man of the Year, something like
oh,
that.
nice.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I mean, I saw LT at the Buick Invitational one time. So
Is that right? That's
yeah,
cool.
watch it. We were off following, obviously a large mass gathering of individuals following the Tiger Woods group. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Um, oh, I have a whole, since we're on the topic of the Chargers,
Oh
I have a whole ass chunk of that because I understand you have gripe over the fact that they're just constantly choking. We're making it to postseason
yeah.
and
And
not
the only thing you
producing.
ever hear coming out of that is like, man, if this just
Look,
if that, I do
if
it, you do it.
yes,
It's
yeah, I
like,
mean
yeah, it's a team
every
of what
every
ifs.
every team is, unless your team is making it to the conference finals, it's always going to be a team of what ifs. But I will argue now that we got Jim Harbaugh. We got it's in and the same year we got Jim Harbaugh, we got rid of Keenan Allen. We got rid of Mike Williams. We got rid of Austin Eckler. We got rid of our best fucking playmakers the same year that this superstar head coach shows up. He didn't get rid of them because we couldn't afford them. He didn't get rid of them because he didn't think they were good players. He got rid of them because they're getting old, and he saw that they weren't producing as much. He's reshaping this team, just like just like Pete Carroll's going to reshape the Raiders. He's and we've seen it. We've seen him do it with the 49ers. We've seen him do it with the University of Michigan. He's taken these ass teams, and in 1 or 2 years, he's made them into champions. In this year alone, him along with his defensive coordinator that he brought from U of M, he took the defense, and he took the worst defense in the league and made them into the best in 1 year. And in the same year, he took Quentin Johnston, who was like subpar receiver. He made him into one of Herbert's prime targets, along with fucking the rookie McConkey. You know, he's reshaping, and in this just 1 year alone, we've seen that effect. Imagine what he's going to do in the coming years once these rookies are primed, and once we get even more rookies. And I'm anticipating these rookies that we're going to get are going to come from defense soon because Khalil Mack, there's been a lot of talk about him retiring this season. Joey Bosa, he's been extremely injury prone. Those are like our prime edge rushers. Thule been doing work though. Uh, I think Thule can definitely hold one end, but like I said, we need pressure from both sides, and that's what Mac and Bosa were so good at. So with that, with I think this year will be pivotal as far as maintaining that defense. Will we be able to maintain that kind of dangerous defense with these pass rushers kind of toeing the line on whether or not they're going to stick around.
Right, right. Then where do you think our actual what do you think moves then will happen in the offseason and the draft goes? Because I'm sure you also do realize that yeah, Harbaugh has always been a very run heavy coach. So like
Yeah.
where do you if that's how he has always been and that's how he's going to choose to maintain for this team, um, I feel like our areas that we need to improve are going to be O line first and foremost because we have two individuals who I think statistically had the worst um, run uh, run blocking, if you will, in the league.
Hmm.
And though we have to, if we want to be the elite running team that he has always set up, I think you fix those issues first, and then you go to the running back position, and so on and so forth. But I think those would be acquisitions we would do through free agency in the offseason. I think maybe to your point, we should probably draft defensive players
Yeah.
instead.
I for young blood, I think defense would be ideal. You're right, absolutely. When that the Charger or that Harbaugh is very run heavy, we've seen that with J.K. Dobbins. He's been utilizing J.K. Dobbins a lot, and Herbert. He's been making Herbert run a lot too. Um, but yeah, we haven't seen much production as far as that run game. But I feel like it's easier to draft a free agent, a good running back from the free agency, and develop defensive players. Because, like I said, we've seen what can be done with young defensive players with Thule, and have we drafted any other defense? No, it's been a lot of O line lately. Joe Alt's been doing great. Him on left side and Rashawn Slater on right. Ooh, so nice.
But I
Um,
think those are just probably areas that we would actually, as a team, I think that's like I'm agreeing with you that I think those are just probably what we need to do to improve as far as like on paper for player acquisition.
oh yeah,
Whether
yeah.
obviously like you never know what's gonna happen. Some guy that we pick up is gonna like pop off or have a resurgence. People are you always see like, oh, this was a questionable pickup because of like this person that they needed. They're trying to fill this slot, but they've never been really good at this, or like what I mean, or like they're like you'll never get the complete full picture unless you were like there or you actually know that person. So like
I've
I just
I
I hope that we get at least surface level, like, okay, this makes sense kind of moves, if that, and then we can then further as we get back into the preseason, we can see if these were actually good takes.
I as far as what Harbaugh did in the offseason last season, I mean, I was a little taken aback and I was a little skeptical when he got rid of our playmakers. Uh, but then afterwards, during the draft, when he drafted Alt, I was like, okay, I see what he's doing. Like he's made it transparent that he's not going for a ring right now. He's playing the long game, and I could totally respect that. It takes time and it takes questionable decisions that we obviously don't see in the immediate, you know. Um, but yeah, I have faith in our coach.
I think it's just probably good to keep legitimately this time around to actually keep, I don't want to say huffing on the copium, but like having some like faith that we that next year should, if we
That's
produce the same results next year, I would say making it into the playoffs, I would still say that's a success. I would like to not get like stomped out by some, I'm sorry, but some really shitty Houston, Texas team.
mm,
But again, this isn't that I hate the Texans. That's not where I'm coming from. I just think statistically on
no.
paper, they were dookie butter. And there's no reason
Herbert
the
had a
Chargers
bad
should
game.
have lost that.
Herbert had a bad game, man. He had a bad game. The receivers had a bad game
It was
too.
those candy apple helmets. He couldn't resist. They looked so delicious, and he was like,
Mm, oh man, that was rough. That was rough.
yeah, yeah. All right. Well, let's
Um,
get off of that before we get into before I start.
no, but talking about head coaches, um, we were talking about the Cowboys.
Yeah. Still think Jerry Jones is an idiot. I've been saying that for a long time. I've been following, I guess you could say, a Cowboys fan since Troy Aikman was their quarterback.
Okay.
So I've kind of have had that relationship with the Cowboys. If anyone can understand that context. But yeah, the media doesn't like this. I know a lot of other people think it's stupid. There is an actual Cowboys fan also at my work, and he doesn't understand this move either. But the Cowboys did hire Brian Schottenheimer as their new head coach.
Let's go.
Brian Schottenheimer has been coaching for 25 years in the NFL. He has coached for the Rams, Chiefs, Redskins, Chargers, Jets, Rams again, Colts, Seahawks, and the Jags. And his only accolade he's ever made as a coach was that he coached the 2006 Chad Pennington to Comeback Player of the Year.
He's a
So,
Schottenheimer, dude. He's a
yeah,
Schottenheimer.
I mean,
That's kind of my pass for him. Uh, I've never liked the Cowboys. I grew up a 49ers fan,
oh yeah,
so
so of
you,
course that
you
makes sense. Yeah,
yeah.
I can respect that.
But in the sense of Schottenheimer being their head coach, I don't think it's a horrible move. Troy Aikman likes him. He made statement that he apparently enjoys him. But can he follow Daddy's record? I don't know, man. Yeah, like you said, he hasn't exactly produced much, but he's been in the league for a while.
I guess he's pretty much a quarterback. Like he's been like a quarterback coach and an offensive coordinator. So
Oh, if so, and that's another thing. Apparently, from what I've read, Dak Prescott was not like even consulted. He wasn't like, approached about, hey, what do you think about hiring Brian? You know, and if he is primarily a QB coach, then will that affect the dynamic between him and Dak? Will that affect their dynamic so much that during the games they'll just be even worse and they'll just flush the Cowboys further down?
I mean, you could probably only hope for improvement. Like I said, he has that one accolade for who I think was also a Dookie Butter bum of a quarterback, Chad Pennington.
Mm.
So maybe there's some hope there.
Alternatively, who would you have preferred coaching the Cowboys?
I can't
Or
think of
who
it.
do you think?
I can't
Yeah,
think of
like
anyone.
who
Honestly,
has a
my only hope was
who
that
has a
Jerry Jones would just give it up and let his son take it. But I don't. Jerry Jones isn't
oh
gonna.
nah.
Jerry Jones isn't gonna let it go of the Cowboys until he's
When have you
like
known
in his
any owner
grave.
to let go of it? Yeah,
But
Al Davis took that shit to the grave too.
just so disappointing. I'm tired of the Jerry Jones era.
There's a statement out there saying Emmett Smith would consider coaching the Cowboys if he was approached. Imagine. It's so weird seeing all these all stars, all these legends being part of the coaching staff now. Like we saw how we saw Antonio Pierce doing that thing, and yeah, Jim Harbaugh, he was a Charger, and
My
it'll
gut
be,
reaction for knowing how important Emmett Smith was on that organization, my initial thoughts are novelty.
of course, yeah, yeah.
So I wouldn't have high hopes if Emmett Smith went to go coach for them. Would it be like, oh, okay, cool. I can't wait to see that we're 4-13 at the end of the season. So yeah,
I mean, they didn't give Antonio Pierce any mercy
no.
after his season.
And like I said, it could have been possible that he also, if his wife's health was actually declining or is declining, that it would make sense he'd want to step away to
Yeah.
like be with her. So I mean, he's still
Hmm.
gonna get guaranteed 12 mil. So,
Anyway,
but yeah, that's all I kind of got about the Cowboys. And then I'd say last but not least for my fun, uh, little thought process is who dies for the New York Jets this upcoming year if Aaron Rodgers does not
who's
play there.
who's up Who's next up on the chopping block? I
Yeah,
have
because
no
that's kind
idea.
of where I think quarterbacks' careers end is in the Jets.
That's where Sam Darnold's gonna go. That's where Sam Darnold. No, no, no. Hear me out. No, no, no. Hear me out. Like, look, the Jets. All right, Sam Darnold. He started off with the Jets. He had 2 years with them before bouncing off to like where did he go? He was bouncing to a lot of teams before landing with the Vikings. He spent 2 years with the Jets, then he had a year with the Panthers, and then he had 2 years with the Panthers, and then he went to the Niners, and then he settled down with the Vikings. If he's not going to stick around with the Vikings, there's no reason why he should go back to the Jets. Because hear me out, the Jets is where QBs go to die. You see, like they had, or just players in general. That's where we
Tomlinson went
had
there, and then his career shortly ended.
Brett Favre,
Yep, that
Matt
happened.
Forte,
Yep,
Ed
Marty.
Reid. Oh
Yeah,
my God, yeah. So the Jets, they're like the Florida football teams.
yeah, they're the
He should,
retirement home of the NFL. You go there, get
yeah.
the New York money bag, and then dip out.
And statistically speaking, besides this season with the Vikings, Sam Darnold had his best years with the Jets. Obviously, they were like his first, but they were the most consistent. I think he should go with the Jets. The Jets should go with him.
I don't see why not. It wouldn't. At this point, they could throw anything at the wall, and if they actually do good, I'll be shocked. That's kind of
It
where
just
I'm at.
look, it makes sense if we're following the script here. Ooh, speaking of script, um, I there's a fun little thing that Bill Burr said about the Commanders. Uh, he has a theory that the Commanders is going to be the next dynasty after the Chiefs. Um, because apparently Jaden Daniels has had the top selling jersey in all sports for since the start of 2025, and they noticed the same exact thing happened when Mahomes got drafted, and he had the best selling jersey. He started producing, and so once now the NFL script writers, this is what Bill Burr says, that the NFL script writers take notice to that, and they say, oh, he's got a really good selling jersey, and not to mention his rookie year has been insane. You know, so who's to say that they can't take notice and be like, let's develop this team a little bit, and the Commanders they're a redeveloping team too, considering the name change and all of that.
Yeah.
They're calling them the commies. What do you think of that? I thought that was funny to go from such a controversial thing with the name with the whole Redskins thing, and now they're just being called the commies.
But yet, we keep teams the Canucks in the NHL. So yeah,
The what was that other one on in baseball that we still have? What was it? We still have the Indians.
no,
Even
they changed their
they're
logo,
gone. Oh, okay.
or did they? I don't know if they changed their team name.
I
So,
don't
but they
know.
did change their logo. So
I don't follow all that controversy.
yeah, I don't subscribe to it either. There's no point. It's whatever. Um,
Do you hear the Commanders might be releasing Allen?
Allen.
Keenan Allen.
Wait, he was on the Commanders. I thought he played for the Bears.
Oh shit! Who was it? Was it Keenan Allen, or what am I thinking? Eckler.
Probably
Yeah,
Eckler.
Eckler's on the Commanders.
Well, yeah, because they got a. I mean, they still have a pretty good running back in um, oh, who's their RB1? I had
Oh
him
yeah,
on.
look, Eckler has been on IR since November. That
Yeah.
sucks.
So, but I mean, I guess as long as it's not the Chiefs, I'll take anyone at this point. Chiefs win. Commanders come in next year, beat the Chiefs. New dynasty starts. Eagles win, toppling um the Chiefs, and then you get a crazy NFC Championship game the next year, and they get swamped out by the Commanders, and then now you've got like basically the chance for two separate teams to become the Super Bowl champion instead of the Eagles.
Who knows, man? The season has been so crazy.
Yeah, who knows what's exactly going to happen. But that's about it as far as I think actual football stuff that I wanted to discuss. Unless you've got anything on your plate that piqued your interest or that I didn't catch as far as headlines or anything
Oh,
like that.
no, for the most part. Lastly, it just came to mind that Tyreek Hill is getting really like impatient. Oh, but I'm to understand that Tyreek Hill is getting really impatient with his position in being on a team that doesn't exactly produce. He's not happy with the Dolphins, and he made that switch to leave the Chiefs because they were offering him just the world in money. He got his bag. Now he wants the ring, and so he's been talking about. There's been whispers about him coming to LA.
Interesting. We'll see.
Imagine,
We'll see.
imagine we get the alien on our team.
Thanks for joining us, Timmy.
Hello.
Hello.
What's that?
Where were you?
I didn't know we had a specific time that we were doing this at. So I was sleeping. Off to a great start.
Did that not? I thought was that DMs that we talked.
That might have been between you and Pilar.
Nope. Nope. It was in the football chat.
Yep. It was. She was
Oh,
right. It was
Alright.
in the feasible chat.
Then I may have missed it, and this lets the audience know what to look forward to with me.
Welcome to our
Oh,
other.
it's odd. You typically don't miss things.
I know. I was hosting Female Companion last night.
Oh, this wasn't made. This plan was made days in advance.
Oh, I know. I just wanted to say something weird for you.
Oh, okay.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Well then.
I do apologize.
Nah, you're fine. It's no big deal.
Ah.
I can cut this out. I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
You're fine. You're no big deal.
Nah. I caught that reference.
Thank you.
Marshawn Lynch.
Boo.
What?
No, I know. I'm just.
Don't you dare.
Don't mind me. All right, so I guess we'll get into our probably another portion of this podcast that we want to talk about is fantasy football, which I hope nobody enjoys because, yeah, that's the whole point. No one's supposed to like it. Anyway, in our fantasy football league, our homie Steven, he won this year, so congrats to him.
Go, Steven.
Yeah. No, it makes sense that he won. He was like the one making the most moves in the league.
Yeah, between me and him, I think we
Yeah.
were making all the moves because we had very little players as far as like people actually playing in the league, and we had a huge pool of talent to grab from. So I hope next year
With more players.
I want it to be a little like the choices you make actually are gonna affect, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
you got less options, so now you have to make sure that your choices are one, strategic, two, or at least like you get dumb luck. I don't think, for example, anyone expected Brock Bowers to pop off as far as tight ends go last year.
Oh man.
But tight ends were ass booty cheeks all year long. It was literally Brock Bowers was the only one carrying that like category.
Trey McBride.
That is true. Yeah, I would just argue that like out of rookie expectations, if that's what my lens as far as that. I don't think anyone was going to expect a rookie in the tight end position on a dog water team to pop off on fantasy points. So
they drafted him. Wasn't he a first round pick? Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't for no reason. Um, yeah, no, tight end was kind of a tough position. I had McBride and Kittle, and Kittle was just getting
Yeah, no, you were
hurt. He
set.
wasn't,
Like you could literally interchange those two, and you were fine.
but Kittle wasn't really producing all too much in the season. I had McBride on my starting list for most of the season. Um, I didn't make you know what I can't really talk much as far as fantasy goes because as far as since you and Steven were making all the moves, I made zero moves, and that was kind of the pride I took this season, and I wanted to keep it that way, even though it started to get really hairy in the end when like most of my players were getting
Injured?
injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I made it happen. Thank God for Lamar Jackson and what's his
The
face?
king,
Which on the
Yeah,
Derrick Henry.
which on
Derrick
the other side
Henry.
of the coin, I had the opposite problem. I started off in this fantasy football draft, and then I had a bunch of good players, and then everyone I had started getting injured or benched, and then I kind of dropped out. So everyone knows and it's listening because it was my first draft, and I don't know much about um, drafting, so I kind of dropped out, and I'm going to learn more about it and be on a better game next year. But I started off with Patrick Mahomes. He got injured. I had a bunch of other people kept getting injured. Then when I'd replace the other players, they get benched or injured. So just like I'm gonna drop out. And then Robert made a replacement AI team called the Cupcakes, which I thought were gonna take it for a minute.
Yeah, I drafted all the like Washington Redskins as or the commander. My apologies, the Commanders. I drafted all the Commanders players and thinking that like they were gonna be duty. Like I literally thought they were gonna be booty butt
And then
cheeks,
and then
and it was the
Jaden
total
Daniels starts
opposite. Yeah, he
pulling it
popped
out.
off.
Yeah.
Wirtz would have a couple good games. Brian Robinson Jr. would have a couple good games. McLaurin would have some good games, so it wasn't all bad. But yeah, no, Jaden Daniels like carried that team as far as fantasy points go. So
Absolutely.
yeah, so I would argue if anyone also wants to chime in, I've got two players I want to vouch for next year that I think are going to be fire. You want to get on the Trevor Lawrence hype train and the Caleb Williams hype train. I think those
Oh.
are. I think those are two. If you're looking for quarterbacks next year, those are probably two guys I would watch for. I don't imagine them going high in the draft, but those are definitely individuals I think that have some upside potential considering their the coaching staff changes. Which for the Jags, they got Liam Cohen, who is the offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which Baker Mayfield played really good, even though the team did not have a great ending at the season. He, even with basically all of his options like getting injured, the guy still performed. If you had Baker Mayfield on your team, you were starting him. If he was like your number one QB, I had him on my team along with Hurts. So when Hurts was on a bye, I put in Baker Mayfield, and then so I had those options, if you will. So I think Baker Mayfield on average had 19 points. I think was his average. So that's actually I feel like that's pretty
he
good.
popped off. The Bucks had a pretty decent season as well.
Yeah. So you get a good offensive you get a offensive coordinator for a good team with a quarterback who had very limited options and still performed well on a Jacksonville Jaguars team with a quarterback who's the most paid, I think, for quarterbacks in the league, and was like a
Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah.
Really?
I think he's getting paid like $50 million.
Good God.
And the dude was ass.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think people just keep an eye on him. I mean, so and then the Caleb,
but why? Yeah,
why Caleb Williams? Rookie quarterback, so still moldable and malleable, and you get Ben Johnson from the Lions going to the Bears as I think the head coach. Yep, he's going to be the head coach for the Bears. And he was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions, who had Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown and both Montgomery and Gibbs in the backfield.
I feel like
a
Caleb
Lions
Williams
team that has been duty Duke butter and not appeared in the playoffs since 1995. And they have that season last season. Yeah, I would definitely put Caleb Williams in your back pocket for a potential quarterback for next year.
He was my QB too. You know?
Yeah,
I had high hopes for him. I had very high hopes for him. I wanted him to do what Bo Nix ended up doing.
Yeah. No.
Hey, but we'll see. We'll see.
So that's who I got for my eyes on for, I think, individuals who will pop off for next year. But
I'm gonna be real. I haven't exactly had my eye on many people for fantasy, except for maybe Drake May, Patriots QB, because they just get a new offensive coordinator.
Let me see.
They just and they got Mike Vrabel, doing head coach now.
Oh yeah. I did hear about that.
Yeah. But let me see.
Oh, Josh McDaniels is going to be the offensive coordinator of the England Patriots.
Yeah, man. That's a move for sure.
And he was a previous offensive coordinator for the Patriots, so.
Yeah, I mean, McDaniels is still very young, but he's been making moves. He did what he did with the Dolphins last season. I don't know why they weren't able to catch that same fire, but that he was young, and to have a comeback like he did that one game. You remember that? It was like didn't they score like 50 points or something?
What game? Who played who?
Hang on. I'm looking it up. Was that one? Dolphins versus Broncos.
He was on because he was the Broncos head coach.
McDaniels?
Yeah, he was the Broncos head coach. He was coached for the Broncos, the Raiders. He was a coach for the Patriots, back in the Brady era, and then he's now back to the Patriots.
I see. Yeah. That's right. I just had a brain fart, and I thought he was someone else.
Oh.
You see, we're talking about Josh McDaniels?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about Mike McDaniel.
Oh, yeah, no, two very different individuals.
Yeah, man.
All right, yeah. I can see that angle, though. I can see that he may be, that definitely, there's some hope there, so.
Okay, bye, Timmy.
All right, bye, Timmy. I mean, he didn't get to his segment of this podcast, so.
I didn't know he had a segment.
Oh, at the end, yeah.
What was it?
We're gonna do. He gets 5 minutes of the floor of who he thinks is gonna win the Super Bowl and why.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but I guess we don't get. I guess we don't get Timmy time this go around.
Well, hang on, I'm pulling.
Oh, I went to go restart his computer. All right, so maybe we still get Timmy time. All right, cool, sweet.
All right, well, if he's restarting his computer, do you mind if I go poop real quick?
Yeah, go take a shit.
I'll be back.
I'll find a graphic. I can fill. Dude, thumbnail idea. I just want to get like, Andy Reid's face from that game you were talking about with his frozen mustache, and just superimpose it and like stretch it, and that'll be the thumbnail for the.
Okay, sure. Well, all right. Yeah, thinking about Lawrence Taylor. how he destroyed Joe Theismann's career, right? With that tackle.
Yep.
Then I saw something very interesting about Alex Smith. You remember what happened to him? He had the same exact injury. So he was Joe Theismann was a quarterback for the Redskins.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Alex Smith also quarterback for the Redskins.
Oh.
Both of these games occurred November 18th. For Theismann, 1985. For Alex Smith, 2018. Both of these injuries occurred on the 39-yard line. Both the final score for these games both ended 23-21. Both of these injuries caused by 3-time Defensive Players of the Year. J.J. Watt destroyed Alex Smith. Both of them occurred due to their left tackle being off the field due to an injury. Both of them getting the exact same injury. Broken right tibia and fibula. Like crazy similarities. That's almost like Lincoln assassination, Kennedy assassination similarities. Like,
I think we just throw that up in the RNG machine. That potentially
jeez,
again, a highly high, like you're
odds?
talking. Yeah, exactly. The odds are ridiculous, but like,
oh shit!
roll the
Another
dice.
fun
Something's
fact.
gonna happen.
Another fun fact: Joe Theismann was in the press box when Alex Smith took that injury.
I wonder if he was like,
imagine
I wonder like if as it was happening, he's sitting there like, what's that
Vietnam
one where,
flashbacks, just Vietnam flashbacks.
Yeah, just like, wait a minute,
where have I seen this before?
He's like,
dude,
you know, one of his like associates up in the press, someone in that same box he was in turned and looked at him wide-eyed because it all like clicked together.
Who it was? You know who looked at him?
What?
Lawrence
Oh.
He's just Theismann turns around and he just sees Lawrence Taylor
it's just direct eye contact of you know what I mean?
Oh man, but dude,